this program is to print inverted mirrored right triangle. Of course, mirrored inverted right triangle star pattern, the mirrored form of inverted right triangle. So how is that looks like? The first row will have the 5 stars, but second row, as I said, it's a mirrored, right? Now previously that was having 4 stars from the beginning. Now when you mirror it, first one will have the space, next one 4 stars, and then 3 stars, then 2 stars, then 1 star. I think this is our mirrored inverted right triangle form. Then you can think about this logic. If you want to build this logic, so what could be our conditions of I and j? So I outer loop is very easy. First one is I is 1, 2. If you want to print 5 rows, then I goes from 1 to 5. Then what logic you can build in each row? As I said, after the star, if you have the spaces, it will become easy. But before the star, if you have the spaces, then you must print the spaces that before the stars. So you require other loop to print those stars. So how do you do that? I'm just counting it. What was the count of spaces and star? Here 0 spaces, but 5 stars we require here, right? Stars you might have a logic already because just now we have coded it, but still there are other ways to print the same number of stars. Be careful. So 1 space followed by 4 stars, then 2 spaces followed by 3 stars, then 1 space followed by 3 spaces followed by 2 stars, then last one 4 spaces and then 1 star. So how do you make connection between the spaces and stars and spaces? What is the logic? So you might use the same j for both spaces and stars, but 2 independent loops. Or you can use 2 different variables, j for the spaces, k for the stars. So let's use a different one. So how do you do that? J is equal to, because 0 depends on I minus 1, that can create the logic. Zeros, the number of spaces is going to be I minus 1. So j is starting from 1, but it goes 1 to I minus 1. So this will create the spaces. So first time itself, no space, it will terminate. That's for the spaces logic. And how to print the star? As I said just now, the j was created for stars. The same j you may use it, right? n minus I plus 1 logic. So I'm just trying to tell you that I'm using k for the stars here. K is equal to 1 to n minus I plus 1, because 1 means 5 minus 1 plus 1 will become 5. So this could be for the stars. How many stars do you require to print? In each row, you can do this. And I think you got the point. 5th row, we have the 4 spaces. That means I minus 1 spaces we require. And then number of stars will become just 1. So the stars we have already seen that inverted right triangle logic. So star has no problem. But before star, how many spaces you require? That is important. Previously there was no space, so we printed stars directly from the first position. But in the inverted, we require the spaces before the star. Now, is this logic correctly works or not? We will check again with the program. Now I might use the 3 variables I, j, k for the loops, but as I said, you can use the 2 inner loops with the same variable j if you want it. But I'm using here I, j, k, but k is not important anyhow. Still I'm using it to just have a clarity. Enter the number of rows to print inverted or mirror, inverted mirror or mirror inverted, mirror right triangle, both will be same. Okay, so now we have the value of n. What logic we have is I is equal to 1, then I less than or equal to n, which was 5 we have used in the example, and I increment, that's outer loop. Now we require one loop for space, other loop for spaces to print spaces. What logic we require? So j is equal to 1 and j must go till I minus 1. So first time the I value is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0, and 1 less than or equal 0 fails, so it terminates immediately, so no space will be printed using this loop. Okay, I think you don't need that. Just write printf space and other one for the to print stars. Just one line statement, so you don't need any bracket or body for the for body beginning and end. For I can use j or k because that for loop j is over. When you come to this for loop, you can reuse the j, but as I said, then k I was using it. K less than or equal to, we have seen that n minus I plus 1, n minus I plus 1 in the previous example. The same logic I am using here from the inverted right triangle logic. K increment, here you need to print the stars. And after this, because in each row at the end you require new line to start the next row, so that just you require printf /n. This will take care of each row end. So our program is over, I think. Now we can cross check any compilation errors are there, because sometimes we might do mistakes unknowingly. Before that, let me save the code. The file name is already given, inverted mirror right triangle.c. So building, we are lucky there was no error in the code. And let me run the code first. Enter the number of rows to print inverted mirrored right triangle. So I'm giving 5 as usual. You can see that first row we have the 5 stars, second row 1 space followed by 4 stars, in the third row 2 spaces followed by 3 stars, in the fourth row 3 spaces followed by 2 stars, and the fifth row 4 spaces followed by 1 star.